Ooh, good morning. Already. So warm this morning. Probably gonna be really mid 80s today, maybe. I have a question. It's always that lately has been in my mind. And I just wonder if anybody else wonders this. Why do people get so easily offended? And what is going through their mind when they are offended? Like what reaction is that? And some things I've noticed, I guess I'll talk about. Pretty sure we all know at least one person that it's a struggle talking to them because you have to tiptoe around them because they're so, you have to walk on the eggshells around them because they're really sensitive, and you have to choose your words carefully. And if you were to try to go into something serious or about any topic that that they're sensitive about, um, they kind of just shut down. You can't talk to them because it's like they don't want to hear, oh, or are you saying this about me? Are you saying that? And it's hard. It's hard to talk to someone and to, I guess, talk sense into them, to help them understand maybe what you see or your point of view, or just something maybe that could edify them or help them in some way. Or maybe it's like a misunderstanding that that they didn't fully, they assume something that you said or did, and they assumed your motivation towards it was something to slight them or something against them in some way. And they have already made their mind up and they don't want to hear it. And that's fine. That's fine for people to do, but I just don't think that's such a wise thing to do. And I think that's why we are in this chaos now so much here in the United States. I don't know about the world, but here for sure is that people outcry that they want to um, be heard and want someone to, or want others to react a certain way around them, to coddle their feelings almost. Um, and it's gotten to a point where we can't really talk about anything serious or meaningful because if you have like your own thought towards it, or an opposing or conflicting thought or information, their guard goes up. They get offended and they get they just shut down. And I just wonder, do those people ever think to themselves, maybe I don't have all the information, or maybe I don't have it right, or maybe I should hear this person out? Um, it's almost like too they're scared of another way of thinking. They're set in their way of thinking, and um, they assume that they're correct in every part of it, which they might be. But it's foolish to not at least hear what the other person's trying to say, um, without getting all hyped up and emotional. And I've noticed that people, when they're in that state, they can't hear anything. They tune it all out. I mean, they might constantly be talking over you, trying to talk over you, but it's like it's so harmful for them to hear a different side. And they don't want to explain, they don't want to wait for you to explain what you mean. You could just start out and just say, I don't think it's right for so and so to um, tell me that I have to address them in that way. And then they're like, whoa, 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 and immediately go into their spiel about it. and they don't give you the opportunity to be like, well, hang on, this is why I don't feel that way, or I don't see that it's easy to do that because of your side of it. And so we're so quick to shut people down, but everyone is wanting to be accepted, to be uh, fair, to come together. But instead, they just kind of stick their fingers in their ears, and they just kind of like cry about it, or they throw a fit about it, like a toddler that wants what they want and that's it. It's how have we gotten this way where we all want to be heard, but we do it in a wrong way to where it's like you only hear what I say and that's it. And to me, that's not wise. That's not in any way helpful to anyone to get what they're trying to achieve and from others, and to maybe even think, hey, maybe I might learn something from the others. And so, how are we to move forward and come together and achieve that if one side, or like how we say, someone that you might know, at least one person, is acting like that? I mean, leave it alone. Um, if they're set in their ways, what can we do about it? Now, I'm not going to take, hang on, it's springtime and they got the baby spiders out. Sorry about that. I had to take a break because my camera was overheating. I don't know exactly where I left off. I want to ask these people, the people that, that are easily offended. I've asked before, why are you so upset right now? Why is what that I said, why does that bother you? Why does it cause this response in you? And you ask them to walk you through it, and they can't really walk you through why they're so upset. And I know that when it's like that, people, either you're programmed to be offended and upset easily, which is dangerous because then they can control you that way. Any person can control someone that's easily hyped up in their emotions. Um, or if they really do believe this. And so if they try to walk you through it, because like if it's true, then there's no need for all the emotion. But when it's not true, then there's this irrational emotion that goes with it, and they deflect, or they might blame you for something, or they they just can't give you an answer without getting all worked up. And when you believe something or know something to be true, there's no need to get all worked up like that. You can explain to the person or people, whoever you're trying to convince or get your point across, in a calm manner, that you're able to have a conversation with someone. And from what I see, when people get hysterical like this, they're not ready to hear anything else that anyone else has to say. And that's dangerous. That can create a foolish person if you can't hear what the other person's saying and maybe take it in and food for thought or something. But people are so fragile nowadays that anything that you try to say, you have to tiptoe around, and that doesn't do any good. I mean, even if you do try to tiptoe around, then they get more offended, or they try to be like, are you trying to say this about me? And then you're like, whoa, okay, maybe they I don't want to open this can of worms, because it's like we see that as like a almost like they're, I don't know, like in the wild, like it's a more alpha response or something like, whoa, okay, I don't want this. I just want to be chill about it, but I know this person's not going to be chill about it. And that's why people avoid just really talking, trying to talk sense into someone because, I mean, it's, you don't want to deal with that person's reaction. And to me, I'm like, that person can react all they want. We still need to tell them the truth because they can't explain away their position without being so hostile in their emotion. And so what goes through these people's mind is they only, there's no critical thinking along with this. And when there's no critical thinking, the only thing you do is fall back on emotion. You have to get all hyped up to compensate for the lack of critical thinking. They just believe this and that's it. There's no room for any kind of truth, knowledge, any other side, or for anybody to be like, well, hey, hang on one second. Let me uh let me put something else out there that you might not be considering. They don't want to hear it at all. Or, well, in my experience, this is not like this. They don't want to hear it. And so it's like, what do you do when they're like that? You just have to leave them like that. They're not ready to hear you. They can come at you all they want, be hysterical all they want, but you have to remain calm. It's just like in the movies, or not movies. Just like if someone were to go into a boxing match or like a karate match and all that, you have to stay calm going in. You can't let the other person intimidate you, and they will try to intimidate you to cause that in you to make you in that response not level-headed. And if they can evoke that fear in you, then that's all your body is driven on, and you can't keep your mind straight. And so the one who's calm and their mind straight, they're the ones that do well in the match. And um, it goes the same way with everybody in the world that um, communicates with each other. And that's just like the way that we communicate is a lack of the communication. It's when you try to communicate, there's a lot of assumption going on, like whatever you might say. And they will take it in their mind and filter it through how they believe your intentions are in saying that, and they will run with that. And it's not fair and it's not right, but that's how we've been trained to be. We don't want to hear each other out. We just want to assume that this person means the worst or is trying to do the worst to us. And not everyone's like that. The majority of people are not like that because, like, you wouldn't want to assume that of everybody else, right? Because we want to get along. Everybody wants to get along with each other, but we're not able to do that when people have their fingers stuck in their ears and they don't want to hear at all anything else. So, just next time, if anybody is dealing with this, like with a family member or someone that they know that it's hard to talk to that person because the way they respond if you get around a certain subject, um, don't don't play into their game because if they can't defend their position or their thought, they're going to try to kind of divert the subject, divert the conversation, and try to like make an accusatory thing towards you or a general idea of something to shift the original thing that you're trying to talk to them about. And you can't, you have to just stay straight on it. You can't fall into that trap and respond to that. It'll just keep going, keep going, keep going until they win the argument or until you get so emotional you walk out or whatever, whatever. You have to remain calm in it, and you can't fall into the tactics of the hysterics. You can't. You just have to, and if they still don't want to hear it, that's fine. Just leave them be. Just leave them be. But always, if they try to bring it up too, you just always be calm in it. And if you're the one that's being like this, maybe just stop and listen and think, maybe everyone's not out to get me. Maybe this might be helpful for me. Even if it's not, just listen, take it in, and keep it or don't. There's no harm in that. There's no harm. And if you do get to that point where you say something out of, like, say there's a couple, right? And they get into an argument about whatever the topic was originally, about who left this cup here, okay? Well, sorry for my dogs, I see a cat. They will try to be like, oh, well, you leave your plates out everywhere. They divert from the original topic that you're talking about. And then you're like, what? Well, you leave your clothes on the floor or whatever. It just keeps going. And then they say, you know what? You are just the most awful person. You just run over me. You just do this. And then they stop talking for a minute. And then whenever they go to reconcile, right, they regret saying some things that, you know, things might have got out of hand. They might have called each other names and they both went off the rails. Whenever you feel like you have said something that you regret like that, that is when you know that you are operating only based on emotions, that you have made your decision and answered out of irrationality. Hang on. Hey! 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 Nebby! And you know what? It's dangerous to be offended over certain words. It's dangerous that someone can just trigger your irrationality so quickly with a word or a couple words. I remember in school, um, I went to school with the population was like half black, about half white, a couple Latinos in there. But I know that the black people would always call each other the N word, right? And if anyone white said that, then it was a big deal. It was a big no no, right? And they wouldn't mind if they called each other that. But as soon as someone else called them that, then it was like, oh, you're getting a beat down, or they make a big deal about it, and it's just crazy to me that doesn't really offend you, that word, because you say it to each other. You're only told to be offended because they've told you that some people can't say that word, and that's where the critical thinking comes in. Is that, oh, am I really offended by you saying this? Am I really letting you know that you have that much power over me from one word, that you can control my whole being because I'm going to give this response to you? They know that they could start it. That just means that if someone wants to start something with you, they just have to say that one word and then boom, you're ready to go. If you're so easily controlled and triggered by that, that is a dangerous mental state. Very dangerous. And that can go with anybody, and you know, even women getting called the B word or whatever. It is, you can't let someone's words hinge so much upon your being that you're easily controlled by that you're easily swayed to go into an irrational thought of being. Anyway, I hope that helped someone, or not. I mean, hopefully it helped. I guess if you like the video, give it a like, and if you think it might help someone else, share it with them. Thanks for watching, and have a good day.